My name is Lee Jia, and I shaved off the hair I'd spent 18 years growing. My dorm's resident copycat, Sunan Leon, completely lost it. Why would you shave your head without telling me? You've ruined me. That's because she had the exact same hairstyle when she took my car and plowed into a family of 3 in the city's financial district. When the police arrived, she screamed at the officers and the victim's parents. I just broke up with my boyfriend and I'm in a bad mood. It's their fault for getting in my way. They deserve to die. You're not getting a dime. I'm telling you, I'm a Lee. Taking care of you in your old age would be you getting the better end of the deal. After her tirade, she sped off, knocking over several onlookers in the process. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the day the copycat crashed my car. On the screen, Mei Lin's face was smug, her expression dripping with contempt for the crowd around her. Staring at her on my phone, I immediately started screen recording the news feed and drove to a trendy salon in the Riverside district. I wore a face mask and started a live stream on my alt account. I paid to boost the stream, and with a catchy title like "Long-Haired Beauty Shaves It All Off," I managed to draw in a ton of viewers. By the time the viewer count hit 100,000, I had arrived at the salon and asked the stylist to give me a clean shave. Meanwhile, the story of Mei Lin's hit and run was still blowing up online. Forums were buzzing with debates. Some people questioned if Mei Lin was really who she claimed to be, others believed her and were trashing me online, and some were even planning to come to my university with the victims' families to demand answers. Just then, Mei Lin called me. I'd brought 2 phones with me, using my backup for the stream on purpose. When her call came in, I put it on speaker at full volume for my entire audience to hear, and answered. Mei Lin's sharp, slightly panicked voice came through the phone. "Hello, Anne? Where are you?" "What's up, Mei Lin? Do you need something?" I said, pretending not to know anything. "Did you forget? It's my boyfriend Bowen's birthday tomorrow. I'm getting a surprise ready for him." As I said that, I gave a playful wink to the camera and pointed to my head, which was getting progressively balder. The viewers in the chat got the hint and started spamming LOL, saying I was preparing a shock, not a surprise for my boyfriend. Mei Lin didn't notice anything was off. "Oh right, make sure you wear that little black Dior dress, the designer one. It looks amazing on you, really shows off your figure. And don't change your hair, long hair down looks best with that dress. Bowen will love it." She hung up before I could reply, leaving me blinking in confusion. I muttered to myself, why does that outfit sound so familiar? Oh, I remember now. The driver who killed 3 people today was wearing the exact same thing. Most of the viewers on my stream were local. As soon as I said it, the chat started lighting up in agreement. The streamer's right, that's the exact outfit the driver had on today. This streamer and her friend are something else. One shaves her head for her boyfriend's birthday, the other wants her to wear a killer's outfit. This is going to be one memorable birthday for him. Seeing the chat naturally pivot to the accident, I clutched my chest and pretended to be scared. That whole thing on the north side was terrifying. This is a civilized society. How can there be such an arrogant driver on the road? I saw the news trending when I was on the south side and got so scared I didn't even want to drive, lest it popped out of nowhere and run me over too. The viewers didn't realize I'd intentionally mentioned I was on the south side while the hit and run happened on the far-off north side. They just thought I was shaken up and started comforting me. It's okay, streamer. Someone who hits people and just drives off like that will definitely be tracked down by the family tomorrow. I say an eye for an eye. Let her feel what it's like to be run over. Hey, watch what you say. This is a lawful society. We can't fight violence with violence. It should be left to the courts. But the driver said she's the heiress to the Lee fortune. That's the Lee family we're talking about. Can the law even touch her? Seeing this, I casually remarked, "What? The Lee family heiress? How come I haven't heard that? Where are you all getting this?" A viewer in the know excitedly replied, "She said it herself, of course. A bunch of people there heard it. It's a sure thing." Is it? I don't think so. Let's make a bet. I guarantee she's not the Lee family heiress. Tomorrow, I'll show you the real one. The viewers didn't take me seriously and started trolling in the chat. This streamer is really trying to get famous. First the head shaving stunt, now she's trying to ride the coattails of the Lee heiress story. Influencers these days work so hard. You're just trying to trick us into watching your stream tomorrow. I've seen this move a million times. I'm not falling for it. Seeing the fish take the bait, I smiled behind my mask. I dropped 100 super donations on my own stream, boosting my popularity to another level. As more and more people flooded in, I typed a message in the public chat. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., I will show you the real Lee family heiress. If I don't, I'll pay everyone watching $1,000 each. The message sent the chat into a frenzy. People started telling their friends to tune into my stream tomorrow. And me, I just ran a hand over my smooth, bald scalp and smiled a genuine smile. Maylin, you think you're sending me to hell tomorrow? But what you don't know is I'm looking forward to tomorrow too. The next day, for Bowen's birthday, I met up with 3 guys I'd hired from online forums outside the mansion. As I instructed, one carried a camera to film, one moderated the live stream chat, and the third acted as my assistant and bodyguard. On the way in, I told them, just say you're a film crew I hired to document the birthday party. The 3 men nodded eagerly and started texting their group chats, telling friends to tune in because the streamer was loaded and this was going to be fun. I glanced at my stream. Perfect. After yesterday's stunt, the stream already had 70 or 80,000 viewers the moment I went live. I couldn't help but smirk, knowing that as the drama unfolded, the stream would only get more popular and more people would see what was about to happen.
With the entire internet watching, I walked into my boyfriend Bowen's birthday party, bundled up and flanked by 3 burly men. Just as I expected, the first thing Bowen did when he saw me wasn't to greet me, but to frown and scrutinize my clothes. Anne, why aren't you wearing that Dior dress? And why isn't your hair down? You don't look like yourself at all. Maylin sidled up, pouting dramatically. Anne, are you doing this just to spite me? I told you what to wear because Bowen specifically asked for it. How could you just ignore my good intentions like that? She grabbed my arm. Come on, I'll help you change. I feigned confusion. Change into what? Maylin tapped my shoulder. Into that little black Dior dress, of course. I'll help you style your hair so it's long and flowing. I guarantee you'll have Bowen wrapped around your finger. Bowen nodded in agreement. She's right, Anne. Go with Maylin and change. I like you better that way. The cameraman recorded every word for the live stream. The chat started buzzing. Weird. If I remember correctly, the streamer is the girlfriend here, right? So why is the other girl, her supposed best friend, acting like she's the one in charge and telling her what to do? And the outfit they want her to wear is the same one that Hit and Run driver had on yesterday. Wearing that to a birthday party? That's some seriously bad juju. I glanced down at my phone, reading the chat's speculation. Good. Let the rumors fly for a little while longer. It would make all my preparation worth it. When I didn't move, Maylin checked the time and anxiously pulled at my arm. But what they didn't expect was for me to yank my arm away, frowning. Maylin, what are you doing? I'm my own person. I wear what I want. Why do you have to interfere? Even if it's for Bowen's birthday, there are other ways to make him happy. Why does it have to be about me changing my clothes? Or what, in your eyes, am I some servant you sold to him with no freedom to even choose my own outfit? My words were sharp, and both Maylin and Bowen's faces changed. Maylin answered stiffly. Anne, don't say that. I was just trying to help your relationship with Bowen. It's his birthday. He likes you in that outfit, so just humor him this once. I cut her off coldly, looking her in the eye. If I recall correctly, I'm Bowen's girlfriend. Maylin, why do you always feel the need to get involved? As I spoke, the cameraman zoomed in on Maylin, capturing every flicker of emotion on her face. Only then did Maylin notice the big guy behind me with the camera pointed right at her. Her body trembled instinctively, and she shot a desperate look at Bowen. Bowen's brow furrowed, and he subtly pulled Maylin behind him. Thinking it was just a private recording, he started lecturing me. Anne Lee, don't you know Maylin's been through something recently? She hates being on camera. Tell your guy to turn it off right now, and then you can apologize to her. His words almost made me laugh out loud. Did he really think he had me cornered? He wasn't even pretending anymore, just flaunting his power right in my face. Of course, the viewers had no idea what I was thinking. They were focused on something entirely different. Been through something? Hates being on camera? Why does that remind me of yesterday's hit and run? Yesterday's incident was so awful it had captured the whole internet's attention. Viewers are smart. Once someone made the connection, others followed. Besides debating whether Maylin was connected to the crash, they were also digging into her relationship with Bowen. What? Did I hear that right? The streamer didn't even do anything, just said no to changing her clothes, and these two are ripping her a new one? This feels a lot like a cheating scumbag situation. Streamer, your head's looking a little green. It's cool, she just shaved her head, no green to be seen. Maylin was already holding the dress out to me, trying to force me to change. I refused, and with my 3 bodyguards protecting me, we stood at a stalemate. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense. The chat slowed down as everyone tried to figure out Maylin's motive. Suddenly, the mansion's main door was kicked open from the outside. The father of yesterday's victims burst in, his face contorted with rage as he stared at us. All right, which one of you is the heiress to the Lee fortune? Who is Ann Lee? Facing the camera, I smiled at my audience and whispered, yesterday I promised you I'd introduce you to the real Lee heiress. Well, the main event is about to start. Then, flanked by my hired muscle, I walked step by step towards the victim's father. I'm Ann Lee, and you are? Seeing me step forward, the man lunged at me, overcome with emotion, shouting that killers must pay with their lives. You're the one who killed my son and his family yesterday. I'm gonna make you pay. The live stream exploded. Some were debating my identity, others were mourning yesterday's tragedy. Just as his fist was about to connect with my face, I calmly sidestepped and retreated behind my bodyguard. I looked at the grieving father. I am Ann Lee, but I wasn't on the north side yesterday. I was on the south side getting my hair cut. I have witnesses and proof. The person who killed your family is someone else. You have the wrong person. Impossible, the man yelled, furious. People filmed you. You kept saying you were the Lee family heiress and that my son's family were just lowlifes trying to stage an accident. I held up my phone, showing him the recording of my live stream from yesterday. Sir, please take a look. I really was on the south side yesterday. I have the recording right here. But then, Maylin, who had been hiding in the background, rushed forward. She yelled, Ann, stop making things worse for yourself. Just admit it. You were the one who drove the car and killed that family. You can't pretend your way out of this. Nobody else could fake that long hair of yours. With that, she caught me off guard, yanked off my hat, and turned triumphantly to the victim's father. See, sir, the driver yesterday was Ann Lee. Her long hair is a dead giveaway. But a dead silence fell over the scene. No one said a word. Because when my hat came off, there was no cascade of flowing, long hair. Instead, there was just a smooth, pale, completely bald head. The room fell into a stunned silence. Maylin, confused that she wasn't hearing the angry mob she expected, turned to look at me. The moment she saw my head, she froze on the spot. She stared blankly at my scalp, her voice trembling with disbelief. Ann, where's your hair? Tell me, where's your long hair? Where did it go? She questioned me 3 times, the raw fear and shock on her face impossible to fake. I discreetly glanced at the cameraman, signaling him to capture every second of Maylin's reaction and broadcast it live for the whole world to see. The chat had already gone nuclear. As the stream's popularity soared, new viewers were flooding in confused but aware that the broadcast was tied to yesterday's horrible crash. They were all asking who the killer was, but the viewers who had been with me from the start, after witnessing Maylin's blatant attempt to frame me, were furious. They quickly filled the chat with the summary of the past 2 days. Okay, I get it now. No wonder she said she'd show us the real Lee heiress. It's the streamer herself. And I finally understand why she was live streaming. The crash was on the north side, but she was on the south side getting her hair shaved live with over 100,000 witnesses. There's no way she was the driver. Exactly. That best friend is toxic as hell. This is the definition of a fake friend. She was so eager to throw the streamer under the bus. Her motives are clear as day. Just then, the victim's father got a notification on his phone for a trending local story. He instinctively clicked on the pop-up. It took him directly to my live stream. After reading the chat's summary of the events, he realized he had made a terrible mistake. The man, a tall, burly guy, looked up at me, his eyes instantly turning red. He looked down, ashamed and embarrassed, and offered a sincere apology. "I'm so sorry, Miss Lee. I got the wrong person. I almost accused an innocent woman. I shouldn't have been so rash. But when I think about my daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandson all dying in that crash, I can't sleep. The pain is just unbearable." I stepped forward and gently helped him up, patting his shoulder reassuringly. "Sir, nobody wanted this to happen. That crash was truly horrific. I saw the news when I was getting my hair cut yesterday. I can't believe that person used my identity and then just drove off after saying such terrible things. It's just unbelievably arrogant. If I hadn't decided to donate my hair to cancer patients and live-streamed the haircut to raise awareness for people fighting the disease, I don't know how I'd ever cleared my name." At that, the livestream audience finally understood why I had shaved my head. They were stunned by how close I'd come to being framed and losing my life, but they were also amazed by my kindness and selflessness. "Wow, streamer, this is what a true heiress should be like." Yeah, she didn't just talk the talk. She led by example and did something for charity.
All that beautiful hair. I don't think I could have ever done that. The sentiment in the chat shifted entirely in my favor. The father, still reeling from the loss of his family, was deeply moved by my story and, overcome with shame, tried to bow and apologize again. I quickly stopped him. As he was about to leave, I spoke up. "Sir, today is my boyfriend's birthday. Why don't you stay and have something to eat? You came all this way. You probably haven't eaten yet. Please join us." The man looked hesitant but agreed to stay. The viewers praised me for repaying malice with kindness, flooding the chat with likes and sharing the stream. But Mei Lin and Bowen, hearing my invitation, froze in place, their bodies rigid with shock. Bowen stepped forward and tugged at my sleeve, a hint of pleading in his expression. "Anne, everything's cleared up now. The man is in a hurry to find the real killer, so you shouldn't hold him up. It's my birthday, and I only invited a few close friends. An older gentleman might feel out of place at a party for young people. Why don't you let him go?" Mr. Zhang, the victim's father, heard this and nodded in agreement. "Ms. Lee, he's right. A man my age doesn't really belong here. Besides, my family just passed away yesterday. It wouldn't be right to bring that bad luck to your boyfriend's birthday." Under normal circumstances, that would have been my cue to let Mr. Zhang leave. But as Mei Lin and Bowen watched nervously, I slowly said something else. "Mr. Zhang, I have a question. How did you know to come to this address? My boyfriend Bowen just said he only invited a few close friends, so logically, no one else should know about this place. So, Mr. Zhang, did someone give you this address and tell you the killer was here?" My words dropped like a bomb, and all hell broke loose. The live stream chat went insane. Holy crap, that's terrifying when you think about it. How did her information get leaked? That was so dangerous. A minute ago, Mr. Zhang had a club in his hand. If he had hit the streamer, she's so tiny, she could have been seriously hurt. Wait a second. I just realized something. The streamer's best friend has been acting shady from the very beginning. When Mr. Zhang showed up, she didn't ask any questions. She just told the streamer to confess and ripped off her hat. And when she saw the streamer was bald, she had a complete meltdown demanding to know where her hair went. Doesn't this sound like a premeditated attempt to frame someone? My assistant read the chat's comments out loud, the implications hanging heavy in the air. Mr. Zhang's eyes widened in realization as he slapped his forehead. That's right. Someone sent me a text message with this address and told me the killer was here. Without that message, I never would have found this mansion way out in the suburbs. Instantly, all eyes turned to Mei Lin. My assistant was still reading from the chat, and the theories were becoming more and more chilling. I get it now. I totally get it. When she first got here, didn't someone say the best friend and the boyfriend were acting weird? They treated the friend like one of their own and the streamer like an outsider they had to manage.
And remember, the friend told the streamer to wear the same outfit as the driver from yesterday's crash. While they were arguing about it, the victim's father, Mr. Jang, showed up. Think about it. What if the streamer had given in and put on that outfit, and if she hadn't shaved her head, wouldn't she have been mistaken for the real killer and beaten to death by now? Hearing that, the memory of my gruesome death in my past life flooded my mind. I couldn't stop myself from shuddering violently. It hurt so much. It really, really hurt. My death in my last life was so unjust. As my assistant continued reading, Mr. Jang's gaze on Mei Lin shifted to one of deep suspicion. I slowly pulled myself out of the dark memories, my eyes turning ice cold as I looked at Mei Lin and Bowen. Mei Lin, when are you planning on returning that Ferrari you borrowed from me? I remember the one you took was red. It's a limited edition. Mine is the only one in all of Shanghai. As soon as I said that, Mr. Jang's eyes shot wide open. What? There's only one red Ferrari like that in the entire city? I turned to him, feigning surprise. What's wrong, Mr. Jang? Yes, it's the only one. The chairman of Lee Corp, my father, bought it for me for my 18th birthday. But my parents are always traveling abroad for business, and I have so many cars in my garage that I rarely drive it, so very few people actually know that I'm the owner. After I finished, Mr. Jang didn't reply immediately. Instead, he stared intently at Mei Lin. His expression morphed from suspicion to certainty, then from certainty to fury, and finally to dawning comprehension. The next moment, before anyone could react, he pulled out his phone and made a call. A few seconds later, a phone started ringing inside Mei Lin's purse. Everyone's gaze snapped toward her. Mr. Jang strode over and grabbed her arm. Mei Lin tried to run, but it was too late. She could only watch in horror as he violently ripped open her bag and pulled out the ringing phone. In front of everyone, Mr. Jang explained in a low, heavy voice. "Young lady, can you please explain to me why you're the one with this phone? And another thing, Ms. Lee said her red Ferrari is the only one in the city, and she lent it to you. But yesterday, the car that killed my daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandson was that exact red Ferrari." The moment Mr. Jang finished, the live stream chat exploded, and even the crowd of onlookers who had gathered began to murmur loudly. "Oh my God, what is going on? The real killer has been right in front of us. I'm just as shocked. From the beginning, this best friend and the boyfriend teamed up to pressure the streamer into wearing the hit-and-run driver's outfit, claiming the boyfriend liked it. So the friend and the boyfriend were in on it together. The friend crashed the car, and the boyfriend helped fan the flames to pin the murder on the streamer. From what they said, the friend borrows everything from the streamer. And after killing someone yesterday, she claimed to be the Lee heiress. It's hard not to connect the dots, right? Did you all forget when the streamer first arrived, the boyfriend told her not to film the friend, saying she'd recently been through something and was afraid of cameras? What the heck? Someone guessed back then it might be related to the crash. Turns out they basically confessed. I had to admit, this generation of internet detectives was sharp. Piece by piece, they had already put together most of the story. I cherry-picked the most damning comments from the chat and read them out loud. Then, as Mei Lin and Bowen stared in horror, I curled my lips into a cold, emotionless smile. So, Mei Lin, Bowen, can you give me a reasonable explanation? What do you think about what the viewers are saying? Does it make sense to you? Should I still be calling you my best friend and my boyfriend? Or are you two criminals involved in a fatal hit and run and a conspiracy to frame me? Mei Lin's voice trembled as she spoke. And, listen to me, this is all a misunderstanding. You did lend me the car, but I lent it to someone else. I'm not the murderer. I gave her a smirk. Oh, really? Fine. Tell me who you lent it to. I'll call them right now and have them turn themselves in at the police station. I lent it to... Mei Lin's eyes darted around nervously. She racked her brain but couldn't come up with a single plausible name. Finally, her gaze landed on Bowen. Bowen looked shocked and disgusted. He took a few steps back. Mei Lin, are you out of your mind? You actually want me to take the fall for you? The entire internet knows the driver yesterday was a woman. I'm a man. Why are you looking at me? What, you want me to get a sex change right here and then, grow out my hair, and become that woman for you? He shot me a fawning glance. Anne, it was all Maylin's idea. She tricked me. She said she wanted to play a prank, and that's the only reason I asked you to change into that outfit. I had no idea she was the real killer. I cut him off coldly. Bowen, listen to yourself. Do you really think a single person here believes you? From the moment I arrived at this mansion, you and Maylin have been subtly and openly pressuring me to put on that outfit and take off my hat to show my long hair. If I had complied, what was the next step? Were you going to give me back the keys to the Ferrari and ask me to take you for a spin? What I was describing was exactly what happened right before my death in my past life. Back then, I had no idea Maylin had crashed my car and stolen my identity. When she called and told me Bowen loved that outfit, I happily changed into it, wanting to make him happy on his birthday. But as soon as I got to the party, Bowen said he didn't want a party during the day and suggested I take them for a drive first. Maylin chimed in, telling me the Ferrari was parked in the garage and driving the limited edition car would make Bowen look good. I thought it made sense and agreed without a second thought. But the moment I got into the driver's seat,
Garage door slammed shut. The victim's family, who had been hiding in the shadows, rushed out. They doused my car in gasoline and smashed the doors, trapping me inside. I banged desperately on the windows, screaming for help, but could only watch in horror as they lit a match and threw it onto the roof of my car. The flames roared to life, quickly spreading to the interior. The family members stood there, filming my screams on their phones. Their eyes were bloodshot, their faces filled with the savage joy of revenge. I could faintly hear them saying, "A debt paid in blood, an eye for an eye. Finally, we've gotten revenge for our little girl and her family. I'll go turn myself in later. I'll take all the blame. The rest of you don't have to come." But I wanted to scream at them, "You've got the wrong person. It wasn't me. I'm not the killer." My thoughts snapped back to the present, my vision clear. I looked at Bowen, pulled a stack of photos from my bag, and threw them in his face. The pictures scattered through the air, all of them showing disgusting scenes. There were photos of Bowen and Maylin kissing on the street and rolling around in bed. There was even one from yesterday showing Bowen getting out of the back seat after Maylin parked the car. As he stared in shock and terror, I spoke, each word cold and deliberate. "Bowen, you didn't really think the dash cam in my car was just for decoration, did you? Sorry to disappoint you. I accessed it remotely last night and saw everything you and Maylin did. You two are disgusting." I turned to Mr. Zhang. "Sir, Bowen was in the car yesterday too. According to the footage, after they hit your family, he was the one who told Maylin to get out and yell at them, to call them a menace." Mr. Zhang's eyes instantly turned blood red. The next second, his fist crashed into Bowen's smug face. He rained blows down on Bowen and Maylin, sobbing and screaming curses. "What did my daughter and her family ever do to you? You not only hit them, but you stopped anyone from calling 911. You are pure evil. Let me ask you, weren't you born to a mother and father? Do your parents know you do things like this? Can they even sleep at night?" Mr. Zhang kicked and punched them relentlessly, looking like he was ready to kill them with his bare hands. Bowen covered his head, begging for mercy. "Sir, it wasn't my fault. Maylin was the one driving. Go after her." Betrayed by the man she loved, Maylin stared at him in disbelief, only to be grabbed by Mr. Zhang and thrown violently onto the pavement. The onlookers, seeing Maylin land at their feet, saw their chance. They had been watching for a long time as the story twisted and turned, and the final truth had filled them with rage. No one can stand seeing someone betrayed by those closest to them. Their angry eyes were fixed on Maylin, as if she had betrayed them personally. Someone yelled, "Get her, guys! Let her have it!" Once the first person moved, a second and third followed. Soon, Maylin was surrounded by a furious mob. Everyone was spitting on her,
Everyone was throwing punches. Mei Lin had never experienced such humiliation. After someone spat directly in her face, she completely broke down. Buried under an avalanche of rage, she forgot about begging me for mercy. With nothing left to lose, she glared at me and screamed, "Why, Anli? Why do you always have it better than me? I'm prettier than you, my body is better than yours, and even your own boyfriend secretly told me he likes me more. So why is it? Why do you get to have such a great family and parents? Why does everyone like you more? Why?" I looked down at her. Thinking she'd hit a nerve, Malin's face lit up with glee, and she started cursing me even more frantically. "So what if your little framing plot was exposed on Lee? I still have Bowen with me. He was part of it too. He can't escape. You won't have a boyfriend anymore. You must be devastated to lose Bowen, right?" Her only response was a swift, merciless kick from me. Malin fell backward, her eyes wide with disbelief. I just smiled. "How annoying. I had to get my shoes dirty just to kick you. Malin, this is as far as your vision goes. Bowen was my boyfriend, that's true. But who do you think gave him his status? It was me, On Lee. Without him, what is Bowen? When people talk about Bowen, they say, that's On Lee's boyfriend. But when they talk about me, they don't say, that's Bowen's girlfriend. Do you know what that means?" Malin stared blankly. "What does it mean?" I laughed, a wild and triumphant sound. "Nothing. You wouldn't get it if I told you. Your ambition and your perspective will always be that of a sewer rat, coveting what belongs to others from the darkness." Just then, sirens wailed. Several police cars pulled up. The lead officer greeted me before cuffing Malin and Bowen and pushing them into a car. Mr. Zhang, still filled with rage, lunged forward to hit them again, but I stopped him. My expression was sincere. "Mr. Zhang, we don't need to ruin our own lives over worthless people. Don't worry, I'll have my legal team follow this case to the end. I will make sure they pay the price they deserve. A life for a life, a debt for a debt." Mr. Zhang paused, his eyes suddenly welling up with tears. He bent down and gave me a deep, solemn bow, agreeing to my terms. The online viewers, sighing with a sense of closure, began to leave the livestream. The crowd on the street broke up into small groups, discussing today's events as they walked away. And me? After seeing everyone off, I looked up at the clear blue sky and let out a relaxed smile. It felt so good to be alive again. The end.